Hi YouTube. Today I'm going to show you how to diagnose common problems with your lawnmower that may cause it not to run. So with any small engine, there's three things that can go wrong. Lack of spark, lack of fuel, and lack of compression. Any of these things can cause an issue in your engine, causing it not to run or run quite rough. The first thing I'm testing today is spark. Now I'm using a spark tester, but if you don't have one of these, you can just take out the spark plug and ground it against the head piece of metal. Let's try that again closer up. So now we saw that we have good compression, although while I was pulling over the lawnmower I heard kind of a concerning knock in the engine, so we'll hope that was something else other than the rods knocking on the inside. But now we will go ahead and test the compression. I'm just going to use my finger, by the way, because I don't have a compression tester, but as long as it blows it off, we'll know we have compression. Okay, so I felt some pressure in there. So because I don't quite like the compression level of the engine, I'm going to take apart the head and look for any scoring on the cylinder walls. I felt the walls of the cylinder, and they were not scored whatsoever, very smooth, although there is a lot of carbon built up that I will clean up before I do anything else, but after that we will move on to the carburetor. So now we're moving on to the last stage. The last thing all engines need is fuel, and that comes through the carburetor. Now all the fuel must travel through a fine little tube called the venturi, and any little speck of dust or dirt that goes through there could possibly clog it up. So I'll show you this carburetor. It has a lot of sediment that will do this very thing, clog up the venturi. So we're going to clean this carburetor. So the first thing to do is remove the carburetor. Generally there's about 4 or 5 little screws that hold it on, so it's not really that hard to take off. So for ease of working on the carburetor, I lowered the fuel tank off of the engine and took off the carburetor after that. So I'm going to clean out the exterior of the carburetor just to prevent contamination of the interior. Even if I get a little bit of exterior dirt on the inside, it's not that big of a deal because I'm going to flush it out anyways. I just flushed out the gas tank to get any sediment out of there, so I'm just going to use that remaining gas to clean out the outside of the carburetor. Your best friend in this instance is a toothbrush. It works wonders for it. So I'm simply just going to scrub off the outside of the carburetor. My two favorite cleaning products for cleaning carburetors. For the interior, I use Yamalube combustion chamber cleaner. It works great for that. And for the exterior or any other engine parts, even some of the interior parts, I use brake cleaner because it's cheap and works well as well. So now let's go ahead and clean the inside of the carburetor. So I'll take this toothbrush, works really good, and just give it a good scrub around in there. You can already see the toothbrush is very dirty with everything that's on there. You can turn it around and open up the little butterfly. Stuff is really good because it foams up as well. You can also use some compressed air while doing this. That'll aid you in your process of cleaning out any really fine holes. So So the last thing you want to do when you're cleaning a carburetor is pay very close attention to this fine mesh filter. As you can see, there's quite a bit of dirt on that, and even that could obstruct some fuel flow to the carburetor, which would cause it not to run as well. So I'm going to give that a good scrub as well. Now take a moment to just look at all that dirt that came out of the carburetor. You can totally see the difference. Much cleaner in there, and I would be greatly surprised if it didn't run. So the next thing to do is just put it all back together, add some gas, and we'll see if she runs. So now I have everything all put together. The last thing we gotta do is see if it runs.